Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Teasing the NFL, your destination for NFL teaser bets. I'm Daniel Saludo, along with Andrew Chang here. We're taking you through the early afternoon games for Sunday, Week 16 of the 2020 NFL season. The next game on the board is another AFC battle, is the Indianapolis Colts going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, my Steelers, who have not been doing so well. But maybe this is a bounce back, maybe not. We will see. Indy is the favorite here at -1.5, and your total is 44.5. So, Indy would get teased across the 0 to +4.5. Pittsburgh will get teased up to +7.5. Your over gets teased down to 38.5, and your under gets teased up to 50.5. All right, so you mentioned a quick mention in I think one of the other videos, or before, or at some point when we were recording, you looked and you said, "Oh, yeah, like that Indy line."
I mean, you've been high on Indy all year, and
For the most part, yes.
And if you're thinking that this game could be a bounce back for your black and gold, which honestly it could be because y'all are like 4 games, right? 4-game losing streak? 3? Oh, so I'm counting this game already.
They lost to Washington, Cincinnati, and the Bills. Oh, sorry, Washington, Buffalo, Cincinnati.
Right.
And now he's saying Indy.
It's been downhill.
It's been tough for them. I mean, Ben's just not been good in the past 4 games. So.
Yep. And is TJ Watt out with concussion protocol or no?
No, that's Derek Watt.
Oh well, one of those.
His brother.
Sorry,
Fullback.
I had a 50-50 chance of getting it right, and I got it wrong. Sorry.
No, TJ's fine.
Okay, great. Even so, I feel that they are in for a real test. Indy's
always a big game test.
They're coming out to play though, and I just don't think that, with the Steelers in that organization, seeing them on the decline, it's kind of hard trusting them to come back. I know this guy might be all over the +7 for, Pittsburgh, but I'm trying to think what happened last time they played. I think it was
last year.
Was it last year? They didn't play?
Indy played Pittsburgh?
Yeah, they didn't play this season?
No, they're different divisions.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, that would mean the Steelers would be in the same division as the Texans.
I'm not even going to propose the question. So, I think...
I mean, they played last season, but that was totally different.
T.Y. could have a big game because...
T.Y. has been getting better rapport with Rivers, so...
I like that matchup, but... As for the run defense, it's still pretty dominant, and that's how the Colts like to get things done with JT, Nyheim Hines. So I don't know if it's going to be a grinder, but I think I still would like to take Indy +4.5, even if Pittsburgh's at home. I mean, that really didn't. Oh God, their performance as of 3 weeks lately. It's just been question marks. It's been, how could they do this to us? Mainly this guy. But, I mean, if you bet on the Steelers, too, how could they do this to me? And we didn't take Washington money line. We didn't take the Buffalo money line, which we really should have, because I think in that video I said, yeah, I like Buffalo to win.
Well, but Buffalo was the favorite.
Oh, yeah, that was true. That was true. But
they moved into the favorites.
That's right. Because if they were still undefeated, I'm pretty sure Buffalo would have been the dog.
Yes.
And their recent loss to Cincinnati, just the sorry ice cream on the floor, it's just unappetizing. And, I wouldn't want to bet this game because it's a little weird for me. It's a weird spot. I mean, Danny thinks that they might bounce back. I think they'll stay exactly the same. But if I had one lean in this game, it would be to take the Colts at +4.5. Even if they lose by a field goal, great. You still win your bet. But I just don't see the Colts losing at all.
All right, yeah, that's what I was about to ask you is, do you even see them losing at all? But, okay, so you justified yourself on that. But, I mean, if you feel like they're not going to lose at all, you don't need to waste a teaser on 4.5. You would just take the -1.5, right?
I mean, yeah, in a sense. But, this is the NFL. This is 2020. The game is not over until the game is over. I mean, in a million years, 99 times out of 100, no one would have ever bet money line on the Jets. No one would ever think that the Jets would win against the Rams. so it's all these things, and of course, with teasers, it's almost like you can view them as insurance. Sometimes the tease is necessary to get that win. So I feel
Sometimes
like
it is, yeah, and that's where sometimes the personal value or the analytical value that you have in your teaser, that's where that comes into play, because we've done that. We did that like Thanksgiving. We just took because we needed part. We just needed part of bet. We just needed part of the bet, so we just like, okay, we'll just take the Texans because we need to tease the Washington and Dallas game, so we'll just take the Texans to win because we expect them to win anyways.
Well, first of all, Thanksgiving, I almost straight out for a minute. That was a great pick by you, picking Washington.
I knew it was gonna happen.
But I knew oh, the Texans versus Detroit. Yeah. I gotta like the Texans, right? So, that was great and all. But I'm curious to see if you are going to bet against your black and gold today.
Not today. No, I have to go with the Steelers in this.
Whoa.
So don't be surprised if
Tell me why.
Hang on a minute. So don't be surprised. Right now it's 1.5. Don't be surprised if you start seeing a 2 to a 2.5 by the time Sunday comes, which isn't that huge of a deal, but that means a lot. That means a lot of people are viewing Indy as the heavy favorite, which is somewhat fair, and I get it, but I can't get away from a good value in Pittsburgh because I don't see Pittsburgh getting blown out in this game. The game's going to be close, so I want most of the points. You're getting across 4 key numbers, which is always important, and Pittsburgh's got a very good chance to actually come out of this with a win. I think they're at home. Rivers coming outdoors. He's going to play in the cold. We know Phillip Rivers is not that great playing in the cold, so I like the Steelers in this 7.5, maybe 8.5, depending on what you get now or at the time you bet come Sunday. I can't get away from it. This feels like it's a good spot for a bit of a bounce back, and it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a low score. It's going to be a bit of a grinder. Pittsburgh's not away, but if you asked me to bet on a total in this, I would also bet the under, 50.5. Yes, Indy has been able to put up points recently, but I don't think they're going to put up a lot of points against the Steelers defense. They're actually getting a little bit healthier now, so it's only going to make life harder for them.
Okay. Oh, really?
This is good. We've got a lot of different bet choices.
So how are you going to attack that Indy defense though? With what?
It's just going to be a lot of passing. Ben's probably going to throw 50 passes again because they won't be able to run on Indy. They do get James Conner back, but honestly, Benny Snell has looked like the better running back, and I think he's a little bit more effective. He's got a little more kind of like oomph in his running style versus Conner. So do expect Ben to throw a lot. They've been throwing a lot anyways, but that'll happen in this game because they won't be able to run. So there'll be a lot of short to intermediate routes. And I think they'll be able to hold off Indy. I think the defense is good enough to be able to hold them up. And, Pittsburgh, if they can get things right, even like 75% right, they'll be able to win the game.
75%. Yeah. Granted, okay, you know your team better than I do. So, I still like, it might not be like the right tease or, the value tease. But yeah, even if your team comes alive and if they do win, I think it'll just be a squeeze out win. Maybe
I think the game's going to be close.
Yeah,
I think the game's going to be very
even
close.
if a field goal, that's why you kind of have that, you have that nice little cushion. It's like, I have 4.5. Like, that's great. So they lost by a field goal. I still want my bet.
Yeah. You remember one week you forgot how many points you got?
Oh, that was the Chargers game. I was like, dude,
I can't believe I lost. I'm like, did you see what line you got?
I was like, I got 2.5. I was like, fantastic. But yeah, and now looking at the over, which I am an over guy, it's under 40. It's 38.5, which I think it's pretty good. Seeing that, if Pittsburgh gets the ball rolling, if they get it rolling, and both defenses they're pretty good. The Indy defense, it's pretty stout on the running game. So
yes, it is.
You're on the money with Big Ben throwing. I just don't know if I can trust Big Ben anymore. In the past 3 weeks,
it's been rough to watch.
It's hard to
try to throw.
But, it's just not this past 3 weeks. Earlier in the season, I remember, it was Steelers at Tennessee Titans. It was, all these close games earlier in the season that really makes you wonder, like, where's this firepower coming from? And it's usually that defense that props them up. So I can agree with you that it might be a little bit of a grinder.
No, it's going to be a grinder. It's going to be a grinder.
Phillip Rivers might throw a couple interceptions here and there, but ultimately I still do like the Colts plus 4.5.
All right, so there you go. Andrew's taking that, and I'm going to run with my Steelers. I'm going to take the plus EV value of taking the Steelers over a touchdown, get them at 7.5 over 4 key numbers, and there's a pretty good chance I think both of these teasers hit.
I was just about to ask you that question. Like, I think
it's probably going to be. I mean, honestly, it's probably going to be like a field goal game. So
okay, yeah.
So there you go.
Hey, I can deal with that,
Yeah.
and I know you can too.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments which side you like on these. If you're betting any of these or betting any of the totals, let us know in the comments. We always like hearing it. But until next time, for Andrew Chang, I'm Daniel Saludo. If you like the content you got in this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe, tick the notification bell, and select all. That way you stay up to date with all of our latest videos and previews for the rest of the season. Again, we'd like to thank you for joining us in this preview video. Stay tuned for the rest of the Week 16 Sunday and primetime game breakdowns that we have for you coming soon. We hope everybody out there had a very joyous and Merry Christmas out there. But until next time, make sure you get your bets in. And of course, don't forget to be a tease.